country people and fellow Ambazonians. This one is Silas Atefo at the Troy Ground Zero 21 gun salute for all the good work when I don't do all this while. The struggles I don't go through yet when I stand strong, resilient against the occupying regime. You don't stay with me and about Troy salute for una, but now because busybody for our revolution is too much. My message today now for our Ambazonian revolutionary volunteerism, that is the Amba soldiers and way that they resist for protect our communities against the occupying forces and for La République du Cameroon. I want to salute una for all the good work una don't do. Una they do correctly so far, and one always from time to time take a small moment despite the work the way we the try for do, or even how we claim so be busy, we like to take time to come out here for talk for una. You know mean say what revolution be a very complex one, and sometimes for talk to our forces on the ground, even on some technical strategic issues you need to make will come out and make a video like this one what they do on today. The enemy on the ground, it don't change the strategy them, and it don't work in a lot of different ways them. So our restoration force then to the game for constantly begin to change and they adapt. Unfortunately, we will not get a united structure where we always pass message for reach every restoration force on the ground. So sometimes we resort to methods them like this one for pass information in a way that even if the enemy decodes some of it, while forces them could take advantage of the dissemination of these kinds of message, particularly and strategically for our restoration force them in time for make changes and adapt to the strategy of the enemy. So when I don't do well, the different punky strategy when I don't use them, and the popcorn when I don't use them, it don't work perfectly. This time for our revolution, the strategy not be for constantly begin to put on ourselves on the front lines against the occupying forces. So ambushing them don't prove successful for many different ways. Of course, even La République know that one. Just as Equinox TV be report them, see which will be happen for them for Batibo, then CSF, they no fit get the mouth for talk. So even their own soldiers and they confess for journalism, for report. Plenty of time we would get this information from their own sources and would talk and they no fit believe we. So one tell when I say the forces on the ground that they do just well, despite the struggles the way that they go through. So make una keep up the good fight. This message not just for encourage and congratulate una for the good work una already do. One thing I want to talk now, plenty of our forces on the ground they need a lot of education. My message today before can educate our restoration forces them on the public space, but now for try for recommend areas and way restoration forces and they fit get enough information. Through my investigation and my findings, I don't come for trust the Ambazonian military forces and for their educative approach to self-defense on ground zero. They are very knowledgeable. I talk about the AMF when I don't constantly hear. They be very, very educative on self-defense issues, and I think say all restoration force them on the ground they feel benefit. So which I don't find out AMF, if you want benefit from the knowledge with AMF, then they promote them and we they educate our forces on must you become part of the group if you don't want to. No. You can reach out to AMF forces on the ground and all of their platforms and get enough information on the ground where if you help you as a fighter on the ground. Commend all the restoration fighters where they be affiliated to the AMF. The AMF not be out for engulf any particular group. This message why the person today not be any message authorized by the AMF for me to talk, but as a revolutionary, when I find out good information, I do my best for bring up forth for the people where they need them. So now my job that as an activist for this revolution. Again, our forces on the ground they need serious education, and I think say the AMF, Ambazonian military forces, they get the platform and this framework for education, even the mindset and the temperament where any fighter on the ground in need them. So I recommend this video and I recommend the AMF for any restoration fighter on the ground. Say if you run into any kind of problems, find out how to link with any leadership of the AMF on the ground. And they talk about our usual diaspora people, the way they like politics plenty. AMF don't take the bull by the horns and they organize themselves on the ground. Now, which I would always pray for. Say, make this revolution, it be fought from the ground and not from the diaspora. Diaspora, it be meant for give support to it where Ground Zero they do. So now, why there is somebody like me, where my own philosophy that say me Ground Zero, it take charge, the bull by the horns, take charge of their destinies. Because we for outside here, we'll get a partial destiny somewhere, but our homeland na Amazonia. So the determining force is the enough commander for diaspora. AMF, it do exactly what way a revolution needed. And I come today for recommend for our fighters them for seek knowledge. I need to recommend say make anybody join any group, but for seek knowledge, education support for all their difficulties they get on the ground, whether for materials, whether for strategy, whether for collaboration. You will find all these different elements with the AMF. When I see something good, I like to come out, can come talk and pona. I don't take time for a study which way AMF be all about, not just for one day, for consistently for a long period of time. When I for those when I fight as when I be on Facebook, rather than for can make videos became the operator on Facebook where it don't make any sense. Just like some of the one we only see at my country people they take the mock una with them. Make una rather concentrate for side them when if you get information where it be helpful to una activity on the ground where if it keep you safe for one more day. When I did at war, no be time for any bravado on Facebook. When life will be very much at stake and safety now a major concern. Recently the AMF it don't put the AMF it put out some series of videos well, audio videos where they put out on their Facebook page, AMF when I check it out. So I listen to which way that comrade when I also a fighter on the ground, it present him. It make a lot of sense. He advise and educate fighters. And my worry, I say some of this information you need to get to all the fighters. Now why do I make this video? Say make a reference or fighters to that AMF Facebook page for source information and try to get in contact with AMF setup for get even more details, because from which way I find out there is even more to which way AMF they do and that which way they present them for that page. So for you will be fighter on the ground, you define whether not support for any different angle, whether not support for your sickness, support for your wound the way you don't sustain them for battle, whether you define a means for granite or you define a means for financial support. AMF, it get a structure and they extend their tentacles around every segment for this war revolution for make sure they get way to way the forces on the ground they need them. So AMF now a platform and an organization where one recommend them for fighters on the ground, not necessarily for go join them, because the issue for joining groups for leaving group and joining another group don't cause a lot of problem. If not be your desire, simply go seek for knowledge if he save you for one more day. Now simply wait till they ask them. And then they ask you for go join for any group. But I tell you say information there for somewhere where if he save your life. Not take them for granted. This message should be very important. If you Ambazonian or friend for Ambazonia will listen to this message, send it for anybody who you think say your brother or sister when a fighter on the ground. Tell you say you need this information. Tell you say make it move closer to the people the way they feel back it up, they feel give you support. The AMF, Ambazonia Military Forces, they be a reputable platform and organization on the ground where you feel associated with. So I want to salute again the organizers for the AMF on the ground where they do a very tremendous work for make sure semi forces on the ground make they get safety and fight the enemy with all the resilience we were revolution in need. Thank you again AMF for the good work we want to do, and I know if you just continue to see all the good work we want to do and not commend one. Of course, you know mean say other forces and they need to do anything. But when somebody it do something remarkable, it fine for come out and they congratulate them. So 21 gun salute again for AMF on the ground. Make una continue the good work that they do. And anybody where A1 seek support, I think say AMF now the way to go. Make una continue. Take this message, it make some sense for you. Reach out, find out more. Not just criticize from a distance without finding it, because my people perish because of lack of knowledge. And the knowledge we for just get them by finding out what the AMF is doing and how they feel support and help you for be just the one thing we will save your life. So make una for ground now an opportunity to for affiliate with the right people and for get the right momentum on and need them. Thank you again for this video. 21 gun salute for all forces on the ground and our papa and our mommy the way they sustain this resistance by all the different means. So again, my name is Silas Atik for and this message now for ground forces them. Make sure say if you hear this message, make it reach any brother or sister where it fight on the ground, so that make it benefit from a resource, because now it's that we need them. If information and logistics there's somewhere where you know feel reach them, then you feel die because you know be rich, whether na first aid, whether na finances or simply just moral support. AMF get a good structure where soldiers on the ground if you rely on. Now the message that I bring up on today, short live the Ambazonian revolution and long live Ambazonia. Thank you very much. My name is Silas Atek.